It's officially Cardinals week, and I got John Chapman here to deliver the game plan. Get the scoop on how the 49ers will beat the Cardinals this Sunday, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time, right after this. What's going on, 49er faithful? It's your host with the most, your boy the Wayne Breezy, featuring the one and only, the great John Chapman. I feel like you're that great Wizard of Oz character from The Wiz or The Wizard of Oz.
I'm pulling the levers. I'm
Yes.
pulling the levers behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out what's going on. We're putting on a show. We got a production. Everybody come down the yellow brick road. Let's get that dub this week, right?
What was the song in the regular Wizard of Oz? Oh, man. Yeah, Quincy Jones straight up jazzed that shit up, man. Now, come on, ease on down the road. What's going on, everybody? John, man, how are you feeling, bro? Like it's a great day, back-to-back days with you, and you gotta, I put you in the classroom to watch film, and this is what I look forward to on my Wednesdays.
Man, I'm doing well. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people in the Bay Area is hot. A lot of us don't have ACs up here. It's hot. So I woke up early. I was telling you what, I couldn't sleep. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning. Just couldn't sleep. It's too hot. And I was like, man, let's just start watching film. So turned a negative into a positive. Been breaking down film all morning. Feeling jazzed. Feeling way excited. And man, I got to be honest with you. When you watch the Cardinals film, and I don't want to get too much into it, they're weird. They do weird things. They're not consistent. And Jonathan Gannon, I don't know. I think the hot seat is about to begin for him. And, yeah, it's been fun. But, yeah, it's been warm. It's been a little warm. So we're going to heat it up.
I hear you. How warm do you think this game is going to be on Sunday?
It's going to be hot. I think they're saying 93 degrees kickoff. So if you got your tickets, hopefully you're on the right side. If not, bring the tank top like Wayne. Get those guns out. Because you're going to be flexing. Dang, I see Wade been hitting.
Yeah, man. Hey, the traps is coming in, baby. I hate shoulder workouts, but, man, I like the results. You know what I mean?
Shoulders are my favorite. If I don't want to work out, I go shoulders. Whenever I'm just I don't want to be here, I was like, I'll do shoulders.
Hate them 1,000%. 1,000%. Hate them 1,000%. A lot of people in the building, man. John, we got a question straight for you. That's why I like having you on here. People want to ask you questions.
Oh, Joe.
Yo, Joe.
He coming out firing shots early.
Out early. Hey, John, do you remember when I asked you if we would use one of our third-round picks to draft a kicker? So, John, I want to know, do you remember first and foremost, and what was your reaction?
Joe's the man, first off. And my reaction was that would be a terrible misuse of resources. And a lot of people think, and Wade, you know this, I'm not anti-Jake Moody. I'm not anti-Mitch Wisnowski. I am anti-using draft capital on kickers. That is what I'm against. I like Mitch Wisnowski. I think he's our best special teams player, and I think that the upside for Jake Moody is awesome. However, if you look across the NFL, the best kickers, the best punters are all almost unequivocally undrafted free agents. You can get them. I believe kickers and punters are replaceable. So, yeah, whenever Joe asked me, I was like, God, that's ridiculous. If we did that, I would be so embarrassed, and I was, and I still think it's terrible. I mean, what's it called? The Bills just released their 6th-round punter that they just picked this draft. Don't use draft resources on kickers or punters. I don't believe that. Personally.
I hear you. Hey, listen, I'm not mad at you. And people gonna be like, "Oh, Breeze's mad because you're talking about Jake Moody." Nah, I'm not mad. You know why? Because you could have drafted an extra running back. You could have drafted an extra wide receiver. You could have drafted an extra corner. You could have drafted a guy that can return the ball. How about that? How about if you're going to get a guy with the draft pick, draft somebody that can be special and actually returning something opposed to just kicking, field goals or punts. So it makes logic sense. And then you can go find a kicker. You can go find, Dallas found a kicker playing, what did he play, soccer? You can go find one. You know what I mean? So I get it.
That dude is amazing.
Even though he missed and cost me my week. First of all, Aubrey, you shouldn't be missing. That's number one. Number two, how dare you miss a 50-yarder? What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You know what I mean?
It's such a weird NFL now where like guys go up there for 60-yarders and you're just like, yeah, he's gonna make it. Like it's just completely transformed.
I
It's a
mean,
different world. And it's
Young
just
Wei Koo's kicking 60-yard field goals now. Joey Sly, whatever his damn name is,
the
kicked a
butt kicker.
60.
He
Yeah,
was on our team. We had him for scraps.
yeah. Well, he couldn't kick for scraps. Like
Yeah.
he couldn't kick. And now he's kicking 60-yard field goals. Like I'm telling you, it's the new norm for kickers. It's weird. But it is what it is. Thanks for that, though, Joe. That was pretty cool. Dan says he hashtagged both of us, the Countdown Crew and the Breezy Bunch. About to head to the airport. Had a great time in San Francisco. My first home game exceeded expectations. He said he's ready to see Ayuk have his game this week against Arizona. Love the Niners working in the rookies. Oh, we talked about that yesterday, man. Like that was pretty cool. Just a quick recap. Go check out the show on the Rush channel right here, man. Go check it out. It was a great show.
It was we had a good time, and shout out to the Case family. We were talking and emailing, and he took his family out to Levi's for their first time. He's an East Coast guy. I think he's in the Carolinas, if my memory seems right. But yeah, glad he had a good time. It was a great game to go to. Got to see the Patriots. Love it, love it, love it. And man, hopefully Morrison show. Ayuk. And look, we're getting all these questions about. I don't know if we were going to do this. Devontae Adams and all this stuff. My email's full of them. My DM's full of them. Ayuk's going to be all right. Ayuk's going to be all right. It's just going to take some time. We knew that. Brock said BA's going to be up to speed after week 1. He's week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. He's coming. The good news is the offense is humming with him getting 1 target through 3.5 quarters. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Whenever we play a team that doesn't do so much man, I think that's going to be his time to shine. Used to, Brandon Ayuk against man was elite. Hasn't been this year, but he's been great versus zone. Hopefully we get a little bit more of that this weekend.
I think it's not because, what I've been watching on film when I'm watching Brandon Ayuk in man, I feel like he's not running like the quick whip routes or the quicker routes where he does kind of like devour the man coverage. It's more down the field. And so like, it looks like he's beating his man, and then here comes the do like the safety out of nowhere, right? So like it's man coverage with the safety over the top helping out, which is exactly how I hope we defend the Cardinals this week with Marvin Harrison. I don't know what you got in the books, but that's my theory, and I could be wrong. But if we're going to play like the single high coverage with the safety, which look, I went back and watched Malik Mustafa, like the motherfreaker needs to play, like. I think he has more speed and range than any of the safeties, number one, we have on our team.
Agreed.
And if he can just settle down, he's going to be fine. Like, that's crazy. We talked about that yesterday, but I had to go and watch the film, and I was like, he didn't do that bad. He just dropped a gimme, which the ball was tipped. Nobody's talking about that. I didn't know that the ball was deflected off of the wide receiver hand. I thought it went straight into the hands of Malik, and it was more Jaquiski Tardish. Nah, the ball's actually deflected, and he tried to make the play on the ball. Still went to him, but he's got to catch it. But I like that from the young guys.
It's promising. There's no doubt about it. And you see number 6 flying around every play, even if it is a bad play. Like I used to tell my players, like, look, if you don't know what you're supposed to do, just go full speed. You make a mistake full speed, that's forgivable. Sitting there and thinking, DFF, that's what we cannot have. You got to go. And Malik Mustafa, whatever he does, it's 100 miles an hour. 100. That dude is Speedy Gonzalez, Roadrunner. We're sticking with our cartoon themes. We hit Tom and Jerry and Hanna-Barbera yesterday. So, like,
they said it was Looney Tunes, though.
I know, what?
They said it was Looney Tunes, and he gave me it was, oh my God, what were their names? Chester and Spike and Chester.
Yes.
Spike and I don't know.
I'm looking this up.
No. You look it up. I got you. We got a few more questions we want to get to, which is always a great day to pick John Chapman's
Looney
brain.
Tunes. It's Looney Tunes.
It was Looney Tunes. See, they were right. We were wrong. They were right. We got to get to the rumor right now, because the rumor is that the 49ers may trade for, let me put that in there so people can't be like, Breezy can't spell. That's what happens when you type stuff up right before we go live. For Devontae Adams, right? And so I want to know what your thoughts. We kind of talked about it yesterday. I said that I wouldn't do it straight up for Brandon Ayuk. What if there was a way to keep Brandon Ayuk, though, and trade for Devontae Adams? I'm just curious to know if there's any kind of way that John Chapman would entertain that trade if he's the general manager, or are you looking to move on from Brandon Ayuk?
So
Or a
the
player?
rumors are they want a second round plus, looking for first round type compensation. Now he's signed through 2026. Like that's what's crazy. Like he
Adams,
is signed
right?
Adams. He signed through his, 36-year-old season. Like that is a long contract. And so that's definitely got to play a factor into it. You look at Ayuk, he signed through the 2028 season. That much longer deal. Who's better now? Devontae Adams is better now. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Who's going to be better in 3 to 4 years? Well, at 2026 season, Brandon Ayuk's going to be 28. He's 6 years younger. So even though Ayuk's struggling, and I don't know where I belong on this ride, but I am very critical of the way Ayuk has played so far this year. I'm not doing this trade. If you did this before the contract, maybe. You gave him $45 million guaranteed. How's that going to work out? Whatever. Now you're going to have issues in the locker room. Like, I don't like this. I don't like it. We're so packed at wide receiver. I want Juwan Jennings to get more snaps. So if we added, obviously, Devontae Adams is freaking unbelievable, but we're about to add in Ricky Pearsall. Jacob Cowling's fighting for snaps. Like, the wide receiver room is stocked, man.
It's stocked, but none of them are Devontae Adams. So let's just keep it a buck. Like, none of them are Devontae Adams. Your Super Bowl window is clearly still open, and you can literally mortgage the future and get a guy that can come in that wants to win a chip. He has to be the guy. I don't know if he's going to be a little problem in the locker room if he's not getting the ball coming into an offense that doesn't feature a guy.
He's going to voice his opinion. And
does Kyle Shanahan change that because he gets that guy? Because here's the cool thing about Devontae Adams. You just talked about Brandon Ayuk struggling in man coverage. Well, Devontae, that doesn't happen. Devontae can line up in the slot. None of our receivers really line up in the slot. I think our best slot receiver, obviously, is Juwan Jennings. Like, believe it or not, and he's not bad. I'm just saying it's different. They're not covering him. It's just different. I'm not saying I would do this, but I got to entertain it because this could be a thing that helps put the 49ers over the top. Like, what if you're moving on from Deebo Samuel? What if you move on from him?
I don't want to do that.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's got to be ways.
Let's do this. Okay, let's play 49ers GM. You're going to call. Let's just float an offer out there. What is the offer you float out there? Because the only offer I would float out there is, hey, listen up, Raiders. We're going to give you Brandon Ayuk. He's 6 years younger. Mm-hmm. You're going to give us Devontae Adams. You're going to take a lot of that money. And so we're going to rework this deal to a way that, look, we're not adding picks to it either. You're getting BA. We're getting Devontae Adams. And you're going to take a huge chunk of that salary and pay the rest of BAs. That's the only way I would even entertain this. And still, I don't really like it because of the long-term play there. But that's the only type of conversation I'd be willing to have. I'm not giving up a second rounder. I'm not giving up.
Even though that's what they're asking for. They're asking for.
Not doing that.
Okay. Okay. No, you don't have to do that. Like he wants to be traded. They don't have any power in this situation other than the fact that they don't have to trade him. Because he doesn't have a no trade clause. But can't he kind of do what Brandon Ayuk did as far as kind of direct where he wants to go?
He would love to come here. I mean, look where he played, right?
Fresno State.
He's been on record saying he hates playing in the cold. He does not like that. So that's a big reason why. And then you want to play with a good quarterback. You like playing with Derek Carr? Well, guess what? We have a quality quarterback here named Brock Purdy that is way better.
That's not the word that you were supposed to say. We have a better quarterback.
Way better.
Okay, we have a way better quarterback than Derek Carr, who you played collegiate football with. And you tried it at the Raiders and it didn't work. So why go back there?
Yeah. And like you even had the watered down version of Shanahan up in Green Bay calling plays, and it was some of your best seasons.
Yo, we are petty, bro.
Yes, we are.
Did you hear what we just did?
Yes, that's great value brand freaking Kyle Shanahan up there, bro. He's a good coach, actually. I think he's really good. But you get the real thing. You get the real thing here.
You get the real thing. Like you get the wine while everybody else drinking grape juice.
I remember one year we didn't have a lot of money, and so it was football season, and I got these freaking Attack Force cleats. They were the knockoffs of the Nike Sharks, and man, I got bullied. I got a fight. It was terrible. That's the Attack Force Kyle Shanahan play caller up there. You got to get those Nike Land Sharks. You know what I'm talking about? Those Nike Land Sharks?
I know about the Nike Land Sharks, bro.
Oh,
I do. They were fire.
That's what we got.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. It's okay. Like, did your feet hurt? That's the only thing that mattered. Okay,
yeah,
and that's not good. That's not good. Shout out to everybody that's still out there, man, saying hello, good morning, good afternoon. We appreciate you. We appreciate the love. I don't think the 49ers, by any means necessary, should trade for Devontae Adams. I don't think they need to, just like John disclosed all the information. We have a pretty stocked wide receiving room that doesn't really kind of like, need a true number one guy. It's like, yo, get out there. If you're open, I'm going to hit you. If you're not, I'm going to go to the next progression. If you're not, I'm going to the next progression. And then it's starting to become a rotative piece because now we're seeing this surgence of what Jawan Jennings is, which is looking like a true number one wide receiver, right?
So I want more Jawan Jennings.
I understand.
I want more. Listen, I'm not getting enough.
Where is he at in yards? Isn't he top 5 in yards right now? Isn't that crazy? Like Jawan Jennings, the 49ers' number 3 receiver, after 4 weeks of football, one huge game, is top 5, excuse me. I ain't going to say number 3.
He's 4th. 364. He is 4th.
Top 5 in receiving yards. Will Jawan Jennings, let me ask you this question. Will Jawan Jennings get his first 1,000-yard season as a wide receiver?
Man, he's on pace. I mean, you look. He had 19 catches last year, Wayne. He's never gotten over 500, and he's already at 364. He's ahead of Justin Jefferson.
That's why, bro. I'm asking you this question for a reason. Like you thought I was making the junk up. Like I want to talk about it.
He's averaging 91 yards per game.
I tweeted that Jawan Jennings is a true number one wide receiver, and I said that he was the 49ers' number one wide receiver, not because of just the yardage, just the way he's able to get open. And he's catching these passes. Not every pass is super hella accurate. Let's talk about in the last game, that might have been his best catch. Not the Moss catch. I'm talking about the catch where he had to adjust it over his hands. Yeah, we doing the same gesture. You just can't see my hands. That was the best catch. That was a Jerry Rice-esque type of a catch. Remember, I said, why don't we get more of those? Why are all Brock Purdy balls short? And then he throws it to where only Jawan Jennings can make a catch. And if he's catching that with his fingertips and catching those type of passes, that dude is suiting up for a hell of a big contract somewhere. I don't know.
He got him for 2 years.
We got him, but I'm just saying, somewhere after 2 years.
He might hold out again next year with the way he's playing. And I'll say this.
I don't want that. You just brought the drama back, bro.
I'm sorry.
It's just drama.
JJ ain't got no drama, man. JJ, what'd he say? He's like, when you need 15, 15's there. That's what he said. That's
what he said until he has a 1,500-yard season and he only making $3-4 million, and then it's going to be a little bit different. Like, you come on, man. Like, we know what it's like. You know what I mean?
The best part of the game was you watch the silent tape, the all 22 after that catch, and all the Patriots corners and safeties just look at each other and look away. Don't make eye contact with anybody. Everybody just look at the ground and walk away. Nobody scare the big man monster.
Who was that on him? Was it Jonathan Jones? Because they were rotating. But the thing was, I can't remember who was defending him. But if he doesn't do the karate sumo plex flip to tackle him, like Jennings literally got tackled by a dude's legs. If that doesn't happen, Jennings was going into the end zone on that play. That's how crazy.
It was Marcus Jones.
It was Marcus 25. Jones. I'm sorry. I didn't know if it was Jonathan Jones or Marcus Jones. Jonathan Jones is 31. Marcus Jones is their nickel. See, he was lined up in the slot. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Jawan Jennings is taking advantage of what the defense is giving him, and Brock Purdy is having a mother freaking field day. You know what I mean? So, that's what I'm liking. So, serious question from Anthony88. Is he a true number one wide receiver?
Man, the definition of X or number one wide receiver, somebody that can stretch the field vertically and run all the routes. That is the definition by Kyle Shanahan and most whatever. He's slow, but he could stretch the field vertically.
Yeah, he's
now,
not running whip routes and stuff like that, but he's running these other routes, these
you had
post
the
routes.
out and up. That
out
was the huge touchdown in week 3. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think you want him at X. He plays X for us. And so whenever Ayuk was out of all camp in preseason, the number 1 X was Juwan Jennings, but he's not your prototypical because he doesn't stretch with speed. He's slow. He's not fast, but he wins in different ways. He's much more Stevie Johnson. You remember Steve Johnson?
I do remember Stevie Johnson. He wore number 13, right?
Orthodox southpaw style route runner that just
was he left-handed?
No, but just the change.
Just unchanged. I know. I got you. You said southpaw, automatically went left hand like me. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's what made him special.
Are you a lefty?
I'm a lefty, bro.
Ooh. All right. I'm scared of lefties. They get my weak eye.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. You know what I mean?
I used to box back in the day, and the dude that beat my rear end the most was a lefty. I was like, I hate all lefties.
You know why? Because you just didn't know how it was gonna come. Like pause. Like you didn't know where. Yeah. That's it. And most lefties can use their right too, so it's kind of like got you kind of
I like the Pete Rose reference. R.I.P. Legend.
Legend. R.I.P. We got a lot of R.I.Ps this week, man. Like Pete Rose passed away. John Amos, the famous actor, passed away. If you guys go way back, it was good times on sitcom TV. He was in Roots. He was definitely most famous. I know a lot of people from McDowell's and
Coming to America was one of my favorite movies ever. Yeah, I think I shared this story. I was like, I want nobody in my family saw Coming to America. I was like, we're going to sit down. We're going to have a family night. We're going to watch Coming to America. I turned it on. The opening scene, just like naked chicks and blowjob jokes and all this stuff. And I was like, my wife
royal
got mad
penis
at me.
is clean, your highness.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I don't remember these parts. How do I not remember these? We made it 5 minutes, and I was in the doghouse.
What a movie, bro! What a movie!
Yeah,
what a movie!
Legend.
Oh man, sorry for laughing. Like that movie. That movie was funny from the beginning to the motherfucking end.
It was perfect.
Even at the part when they were on the train station and he begging the chick to stay with him. He don't care about his prince hood. He don't care about nothing. And then the old lady says, "Well, if you're really a prince, I'll marry you." Like I'm just like, that was funny. Like the whole movie.
Great
was
writing.
Funny. Great writing. All right, man. So let's get down to some of the 49ers news that kind of came out. I do want to go over the injury report because we got a lot of day-to-days. Hufanga, he's the most question mark piece because he actually missed the game. So I'm curious to know, from what you saw with Malik Mustafa, does he get start number 2 and you kind of, if Hufanga is good, you kind of filter him in? Or do you let Hufanga go back to his original spot?
Because of the game, because this is a divisional game, Hufanga starts and plays the whole thing. Like
if he's healthy.
And they thought he was going to go last week. Kyle even said, I think it was on KNBR, he's like, we were expected Hufanga to go. We were being as precautious as possible. He tested his ankle out before the game, and we were like, yeah, it's a no. And then I'm like, man, you see him on the sideline jumping up and down and all that stuff, and so like that's a positive sign. If it was a bad ankle, he's sitting down or he's up in the club. But it was a true game time. Rolled his ankle on Thursday, missed Friday. They thought he still could go. So if this wasn't a divisional game, then I think that you would rotate. But no, the 49ers have shown divisional games are it. Or when did Hufanga come back against the Rams, right? Like, and there was no, I think he missed 2 plays.
Divisional game. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, so
games
it's Hufanga.
Yeah, games of importance. And then you filter in the rookie, right?
Right.
Filter in the rookie.
Because I don't think Malik will get more than like 5 or 6 snaps versus the Cardinals.
You mean on defense? You mean on defense?
Yes.
Yeah.
But other games, I think he will get more. I think this game, I don't think he will. Maybe if he gets out of hand.
Yeah. Godfather Nick's in the building, ladies and gentlemen. The Godfather Nick is in the building, knocking cats off, knocking cats out. It's his best movie ever. We need Breezy to do a Randy Watson impersonation.
Dude. That boy good.
I will lead the children of the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Eddie Murphy is the king. Yes, I'm trying to tell you, man. Yes, man. What's going on?
Delirious memorized start to finish.
Greatest probably stand up. You Delirious or Raw?
I like Delirious more. But
which was the younger one? Was Raw the first one?
No, Delirious was. If I'm not
Right, and then
mistaken.
Raw came because it was straight up. Yeah. Raw, like as what they call it. I think you're right. I love this show. We just go off tangent and talk about
You
shit.
tell me to shut up anytime.
Never. I like your take on Huff. I'm hoping he's cleared. I'm hoping he's good. I'm hoping everything is great. I like the way Huff plays. We see him more playing in the box. So this might be Jair Brown's game where he's playing deep against. But the thing that I like about Malik Mustafa is his range. I talked about it. And so, like, when you're dealing with a mobile quarterback, is it the fact that you're not going to trust the rookie, but he has the range?
But what's his weakness? He takes some of the worst.
He's the worst angles.
So you got to put him against, Kyler Murray, because that safety on the backside or the safety to the running back side is going to be responsible in the zone read for Kyler Murray. Like, I don't think that's where Malik eventually, sure. Hufaga, that's kind of where he excels above most safeties. Like, that's where he does well. So
I realize why we're in love with our community. They just know everything. We all grew up together, just in different cities and time zones, but we watch the same shit. Yeah. Like, this is why Red Leather Raw, hands down.
Siskel and Ebert.
Who said that?
Christopher Stone. That is awesome.
The fact that Christopher Stone brought that up, I did not know. I watched.
Having a good time, man.
I just watched a clip of Siskel and Ebert. Right, it was like it was a take, like not a blooper, but stuff that had to get edited before it got released. Yo, them motherfuckers didn't get along. Like, they were assholes
to each other.
Who was the bigger one? Was that Ebert?
Yeah, I didn't watch him a lot. I don't.
All I know is one of them said something. The big one said something very condescending to the other one, and the other one kept reading, and then he ended it with the condescending tone about like something, and they couldn't cut it out. Like, the joke was funny. They were dope. They were funny. Anyway, that joke was crazy. I'm sorry. We just go off tangent. We're still talking Niners. Like, we're talking about the injury report. All right, we got 4 more minutes before we get to the game plan. Can we just have some goddamn fun? Dang, y'all about to be in school for 30 minutes, okay? I don't know about you, but I can't sit my ass down for 30 minutes. I just can't.
It's hard, man.
Not without some film, some music, some something. So we got to get into it. All right. Warner, Kittle, Juice, Elliott. Felt like I spelled that wrong. Elliott, whatever. Cowing, all listed day to day. How much of a good news is that? And do you expect all of these guys to be good to go?
Awesome. Yeah, I do. Most of them came back into the game. Even Fred Warner, which is the most important one on there. He was on the sidelines with his helmet, going, and it was an ankle issue. He might not go today. The Wednesday practice report is going to be huge. But I don't expect him to go today. I think you rest him one, but we'll see how it goes. Try to get, Fred Warner not to practice is a difficult thing, especially on a divisional game. So we'll see how that goes.
I agree with you. I'm sorry if I'm reading any of these comments. And for those that are just tuning into the show, make sure you hit that like button, all right? Christy says she wants this to get at least 80 likes, so let's get the like button up. Also, if you're new to the stream, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to go over to the 49ers Rush channel if you're not already subscribed, which you should be, because he's been here doing this before I was, and this is how I'm here. So make sure you go subscribe to John's channel. John, before we get into the game plan, can you take a minute and tell everybody about the Rush and what's going to go on and about almost 8 days. 8 days. God damn.
Dude, we get the community together. That's what we do. In the Seattle game, the most important game on the 49ers schedule for the rest of the year is at Seattle, that Thursday night football game. It's the #1 game. We're going to be there. So go to 49ersrushroadtrip.com with the day before party on a Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. We're going to be together. We're at the press box, which is 1 block from the stadium. Rally, get together, trivia, giveaways, all that stuff. Kids in free as always. And then the day of tailgate, which is going to be awesome. We've done Thursday night tailgates there before. It's incredible. We're going to have a lot of the local chapter out there. We're going to have DJ, music, giving away a ridiculous amount of jerseys. I cannot wait. Carlos, he's been to some of our trips before. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Man, great tailgate, rally, all that stuff. Come check us out. Biggest game of the year. And that Seattle stadium's going to be hopping, man. That's going to be fun.
First of all, one of my favorite stadiums to go to is Lumen Field. Okay, that's number one. It's like every seat, no matter where you sit, the seats are good. It's almost like Allegiant Stadium, which is probably like my second. Like, the seats are good. no matter where you sit in the stadium. That's number one. Number two, the Seattle fans aren't assholes, which is very weird. And so you don't have, there's no fighting. If there's any fights, it's between 49er fans, believe it or not. Like literally.
That's facts.
Right. There's nothing of that nature because it's just a great, place. I don't know, John, are you going to the normal spot that we are when we're in Seattle? Okay, yes, so sir. The walk is beautiful.
Oh my God.
Right?
Awesome.
It's an easy walk. It's right down the street, and it's just like Seattle fans kind of keeping their distance. They won't talk trash unless they win, and then when they win, it's not the same trash talking. So if you can survive Philly, Seattle's a cakewalk. I'll leave it at that. Like Seattle's 100%. So you guys gonna have a good fun. What's going on, Carlos? Man, appreciate you from Mexico City in the building, in the freaking building. All right, John, it's time. It's game plan time. Thank you for the Rush Road Trip update. I need to know how these teams are looking. I know you know where they are ranked offensively. I know where you are ranked defensively. Let's talk a little bit about that. And the Niners are favored by 7.5 points. NFC West showdown.
Dude, back-to-back weeks, the 49ers are the largest spread in the NFL. Back-to-back weeks. Like, they were the largest last week, 10.5. This week, they're 7.5. It's impressive. Now, obviously, the Cardinals have had an up-and-down year. Dude, they got dog-walked by the Commanders. It was bad. They can't stop anybody from running the ball. Their defense is a mess. Now, here's the thing. Their team is good, especially offensively. Do they have the depth? Do they have all the kind of, horsepower or whatever else? That's fine. But, man, they've got Paris Johnson, one of the best left tackles in the NFL. Trey McBride, if he plays, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. got 4 touchdowns. Kyler Murray's played well. He always plays well start of the year until Call of Duty update comes out, and it hasn't come out yet. So you're going to have a good Kyler Murray on there. Did you see that? I'm sorry. I got to stop real quick. Did you see that freaking the Zorro Snap comment?
I did, bro.
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa, in the Z formation. Whoa. Listen, I don't even know how he got to
I'm
a
David Allen
color.
Greer, right?
Listen.
Two men on film.
Yo, and then
You're Wayans.
I'm Wayans.
You're Wayans.
Yeah, I'm Wayne Head. That's what they call me. Oh man. Did I see the comment? I started. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna wait to the perfect moment, but that was the perfect moment.
Up in a Zorro snap. There we go, baby.
Whoa, 2 snaps in a Z formation. Everything was Z. Everything was about the Z. I didn't even peep that. Did a Zorro Z? All right. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. So I got some questions about this Arizona offense because that's what you like. That's their bread and butter.
Correct.
Like their offense is their bread and butter. That's where they're most dangerous. Not saying that they don't have some defenders that you got to pay attention to, but offensively, when I'm doing my most dangerous players video, right, and I'm writing my piece for WebZone, and I feel like I got 5 dangerous pieces on the offense alone. I only do 5 players each episode and each article, right, and so I'm like, damn, like their offense can be a problem. I think the key to their offense, it's not Kyler Murray. It's not James Conner. It's not Marvin Harrison Jr.
You going the tight end?
God dang it, John. If you don't get the get out of my head. What is wrong with you? You
I like it. I like the Ager.
Of course I'm going with the tight end. Because the Niners haven't been tested this year by a tight end. Now, quote unquote, George Kittle, this is the guy. This is the Kittle guy. This is the guy that's Kittle-esque. This is Kittle 2. Kittle reincarnated. George Kittle. Let's talk about their tight end, bro.
He's a baller. Now, he didn't play last week. You talking about Kittle. Like, he's like Kittle, right?
Concussion.
Yeah, so I fully expect him to be back this week, though. And their number 2 tight end's good, too. Like, they're a freaking solid team. Like, they are playing really, really good football offensively. It's just they can't keep pace. Tip Ryman, who was, a lot of the 49ers draft crushes, whatever else out of Illinois, damn good player. So that's their backup tight end. And what they do, like we do a lot of 21 and 12 personnel. They do more 12 personnel than we do.
I was going to ask you, and
they put it out there, man.
That's where we're going to struggle. All right, so
Because that means DFF.
that means DFF. Yeah. Or that means they don't trust DFF and they'll take their chances with the other linebacker out there that can't cover tight ends.
Devontae Campbell going to be out there, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I feel like they're going to try to take advantage of the 49ers defense. My brother Adam Taylor, the greatest Celtics content creator out there in the world, Boston Celtics, NBA champions. Sorry, John. It is what it is. Anyway, let's get to that.
Hey, respect. You guys, y'all got your hats off, man. Nothing but
that's why your Texas team whipped my Michigan team's ass the other day. All right,
you had it coming.
He wants to know, right? He's a basketball guy, so he's not a football guy. He's not an NFL guy. His football is soccer. Just want to put that out there. It's my guy. What does a tight end do? Are they similar to a running back but play wider out on the line?
So Trey McBride plays everywhere. He's Sean Kemp, okay? So let's put it in your terminology, man. This dude is bigger than everybody, faster than everybody, more explosive than everybody, and he'll play on the end line of scrimmage, and he can block fairly well. But you get him out there in space, and it's just fireworks, man. It's freaking, you're doing that freaking double dunk, NBA jam, whatever. Like, he is electric. And I do believe, like, if you were to ask me who's the youngest, best tight end moving forward, he's in the conversation for sure. He's 100% in. Is the Sean Kemp reference that hit home?
Can I take a pause and just give you one of the Morgan Freeman hand clap? Can I just take a pause? Because I don't think
Kemp
people,
was for real,
they
man.
don't, I don't think a lot of people not of our age, like from our era, even know who Sean Kemp is. And that's sad. But I get it. They're not watching. It's not out there. Like, but Sean Kemp, oh my gosh, man. He was like dominant in just about every area, but he had the smallest hands, but he was one of the most dominant players. And remember, he dunked like cuffing the ball, because he couldn't grip the ball. Oh,
so
man.
violent. Just so violent.
Look, Peachy said, great analogy. Great analogy.
Peachy seal of approval. That means a lot to me. You're the best.
So to follow up with this question, so they block and catch. Yes.
100%. And that's
the good ones do. The good ones do. The special
is.
ones do. Right, Adam. The special ones, right. Not all of them can catch really well. But if you're a tight end, you're an extension. The way I look at it is a tight end is an extension of the offensive line. Their number one job is to block. But if you get the athletic ones that can block and catch, you got something dynamic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so if he's healthy, which I expect, like, they're going to do 13 personnel too, which they'll have 3 tight ends.
Who's their third tight end?
They'll put them all on the same side. Their number 3 is Elijah Higgins. He's more of a receiving.
He's a receiving guy.
I think he's a Stanford guy. Is that right off the top of my
No,
head?
you're right. You're absolutely right.
Stanford.
Yeah, I remember
and
him.
So they got 2 big height weight guys, and then
and
one
kind
of Zach Ertz style, again, Stanford type, whatever. But they'll do 13 personnel, and they'll run the ball very well out of that. Like, they go big.
Usually you use 13 personnel around the goal line.
They'll do it in the middle of the field.
Interesting.
And they'll put all 3 tight ends on the same side, so it looks like an unbalanced set, and then they'll run zone read. And they'll they do a lot of that where they're going to get big, and they'll do that in the middle of the field sometimes.
Bro, this game won't be easy.
No, they're building a bully over there. That's like Jonathan Gannon, who I don't think is a good coach. I think there are some traits about him that are good, right? He was the Eagles DC before he came there. And his whole thing is, like, everybody talks about Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. They run the ball more than almost any team in the NFL. And they run with a very physical, big on big set. Like, we do a zone scheme where we're getting people to move laterally. No, they'll line up our 5 guys base block, and then you could play it right, but then Kyler Murray will make the difference. He'll keep the ball and run off the edge, whatever else. Like, it's a simple offensive scheme, but it's bully football. And you look at their offensive line, you look at their tight ends, you look at their running backs, they want to impose their will physically on you from an offensive standpoint. That's just who they are.
Listen, my thing, I think my first key to victory this week, I'm going to put it out here now, is to not get bullied.
Yeah.
You have to come out, I guess I'll call it like setting the tone. Like, you have to set the tone. Because I could tell you right now, offensively, that's what they're trying to build. You just nailed it. They're trying to build a juggernaut on the offensive side, and the igniter of that literally would be their quarterback, because he can zone read, he can throw, and that zone read option is something that the Niners have. That's been their Achilles. You no longer have my man, Dre Greenlaw. He's not here. Like he's not playing. And so like I'm a little nervous about that as well. So you got to defend the tight end, got to find a way to take away. I think McBride is their X factor. But now we're talking about Kyler Murray. So how are we defending Kyler Murray? A lot of this is about the 49ers defense more than it is about the 49ers offense. Their defense is trash. Their defense is bad.
It's
I
terrible.
didn't want to say trash. Their defense is bad. So I'm not worried about it. Even though one of my favorite players in the league plays on their defense, which we can get him on the 49ers, but that's a whole nother conversation. But their defense is bad.
You're talking Budda Baker, right?
You know I'm talking about Budda Baker.
So like every year I do like the draft day, write the note, draft no matter what. Budda Baker was my guy that year. Yeah, I just love the way he played. Love the way he played. Love the way he still plays. The
fact that you knew I was talking about Budda Baker, knew how Budda is that dude, right? Right, Terradome? Like, it's Budda Baker, and then it's the rest of their defense.
But they ain't got nobody else. It's bad.
It's Budda Baker.
And the guys that they do have, this is key too, because this could be a change. You talk about the guys they have on IR, like, man, Darius Robinson, you remember him? Everybody talking about 49ers drafted him.
Wait, he's on IR now?
He started the season on IR.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. We're talking about their first round pick, right? Well, the second first round pick.
BJ Ojulari, who another guy that's a stud. He's like, are they coming off this week? That stuff we're going to find out later.
Because it's week 4. Even if they do, it shouldn't affect us. They're not going to be in ready to go shape.
Yeah.
Or is it just that the 49er players aren't ready to go shape when they're coming off of I don't know.
Shots fired.
I know I was asking a question. That's it. It wasn't taking shots. Yes, I was. That was shot.
I'll say this. Hufanga, whenever he came back, his first start was solid.
He was solid.
Breaking?
He was solid.
Man, it was Hufanga-esque.
Yeah, he was solid. He played his way. He had a big-ass hit on somebody, and I was like, dang, he back. He hit him out of bounds. He hit him inbounds to go out of bounds, but the hit was a pop, pop, pop. I was like, whoa. Yeah, so Hufanga's back. Let's just hope he's back and playing in this game because you're going to need him dealing with their – I don't want to say that they have like a dynamic – what's the word? Their offense is –
It's not bad. It's top.
Let's get a word. Describe their offense, though, because it's weird, right? Like, is it explosive? Is it dynamic?
It's an explosive run game. They're third in the NFL in explosive run plays. You do
because of Kyler Murray, though. Like
Kyler Murray and James Conner. Like James Conner running through. He's still running the same way.
Not taking away from James, but the issue is it's because you have to find a way to take away Kyler Murray's runs. Then James Conner is just James Conner doing what James Conner does. Do you feel like any of their other running backs, like DeMarcado?
I like Benson a lot.
Trey Benson from Florida State.
They're not giving him much work. If you look at, let's see here. I want to pull this up. I want to make sure I'm correct on this. Trey Benson has 25 carries to James Conner 64. So like he's not getting, 4 or 5 carries a game. DeMarcado is the one that scares me the most. He only has 3 catches. But his best game was against us last year. We struggle with that type of scat back. You look at what Gibson did to us just last week, even in a dominant performance. That style of running back seems to always kind of mess us up. Speaking of DJ Dallas back in the day for Seattle, like that type of guy.
Yeah. Speaking of scat back, Uncle Salty's in the building. Uncle Salty, shots fired. Bang!
Speaking of Seattle, there we go.
Right. Where is it at? Right. Uncle Salty says, need to get a better option than Garendo at the backup running back.
1,000% agree.
I got a question about Garendo after you answer this question.
Okay. So what question? What you want me to talk about? Our running back option?
Yeah, like, so who? Yeah, because it's Patrick Taylor II.
I want to see Patrick Taylor II get snaps for a long time.
It's time.
I do.
I mean, he's the veteran. What do you think is keeping him
in training camp?
What do you think is keeping him from getting the touches over the rookie?
They want the rookie to win the job. They want him to do it, but he cannot do the basic fundamentals of the outside zone currently. He hasn't put it on tape yet. He's not getting enough snaps to overcome it. So I think they practice all week. They're like, all right, cool, this is good. They get out there, he gets 1 carry, and it's like, what was that? What was it?
I just feel like
don't go back to him.
I feel like that's unfair, though. Like you're not going to win every rep. You're not going to win every carry.
Got to win one. Got to win one.
It's hard to win one if they know what you It's hard to win the rep if they're planning to know what you're doing. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not defending him, but it's the kid needs more reps, and so like
somebody does. Because Jordan Mason's leading the NFL in carries right now. Like, you can't keep doing that.
Well, what I'm saying is the kid needs more reps. Like, anybody would need more reps. Oh,
and he should have got them late. He should have got those reps late. I don't know why Jordan Mason was still out there.
Right.
Less than 2 minutes. No timeouts, up 3 scores. Like, that is the time. Right. Now, he already had that fumble. If he goes out there and fumbles again, does it get into his psyche? Are you trying to prove a point?
You know, they put those fumbles on the quarterback because they were actually passes. How crazy is that? So the first one, did you watch the fumbles? The first one was like
Jordan Mason?
He didn't fumble. Like, those handoffs were like little quick passes from Brock Purdy. Like, just go back. I tell you what, go back and watch them again. Those fumbles were credited to the quarterback, and that the reason why I watched them is because I'm like, how is these credited to Brock Purdy? They were handoffs. They weren't. They were tosses, but they weren't. One was like a pass flip. One was like that play that like the jet sweep. Is that a pass or a run?
It can be if you're holding it and it's taken. That's a run.
That's a run.
You do the pop pass,
bam,
like you did to Brandon Ayuk.
Bam,
pass.
You on point. So go back, watch those 2 fumbles. One was like a pass, like it wasn't a jet sweep, but it was like left in the air for Mason to catch, and
it bounced off. Yeah, because I mean it hit him in the chest. The ball bounced off his shoulder pads. It was weird. It was a weird one.
Just watch him again.
I personally credit those to Mason whenever I watched them.
Me too.
But
I was trying to figure out why they were credited to the quarterback and not the running back, which was good because I didn't lose any points in fantasy. But now when I watched them slow it down, I was like, oh, it's because they look like passes. I think I put it on my Patreon. So if you guys are a part of my Patreon, go check out the Purdy throws and check out, those 2 plays and let me know like what you guys think. You know what I'm saying? I did have a question. Why not use Garindo more like the scat back? He has the speed. So take away the outside zone. Take away. It's almost like what they did for Malik Mustafa, right? They set him up to succeed. I feel like with Garindo, they're not setting him up to succeed because he has to know multiple things. Whereas here's the field that you're going to cover. You're going to pick the side that you got to cover as far as being the help to one side because your guy back there, super simplified for him on defense, and on offense, a little different. It's like, listen, need you to see this, hit that hole, cut it, cut back in, cut back out. Like that. That's a lot for a rookie to do, especially if that's something new to them. So, but why not use him as a scat back more?
Yeah, I don't know why. We've been using Kyle Juszczyk in that role. I would like to see that. I think that's kind of what he could be good at. But I mean, shoot, you're putting him just that kickoff return. He can't handle that either. And so I know it's only 1 rep, but like literally gave the team hope. You're up 20-3. You get the ball to start the second half, and you fumble the opening kickoff by running into your own guy. Ooh.
Listen, we here to correct our faults because this game is hell of important. You need to go up. You need to go become 1-1 in the division. Need to win the division. I think at the end of the day, you got to start with the Cardinals. You lost to the Rams. Got to wipe that one out. Got to start with the Cardinals. That's the next up on the docket. And so you got to kind of find a way to eliminate mistakes. And you eliminate mistakes by not playing these rookies in certain roles. The question is, who's going to relieve Jordan Mason?
Man, could you imagine, and I don't like put this out there, like what happens if you had one injury to the running back position now? This offense isn't the offense anymore. Debo going to be back there all the time?
Hell no.
Yeah, maybe you just keep Debo back there. Jawad Jennings your number 1. I think that's probably what they do.
I think they can't because now the defenses know Debo's back there. Oh, because he's going to run the ball. Debo's back there. Oh, what are they going to do? If they spread him out, if they empty the set, oh, now it's going to be a pass. It's too telegraphic. Like, I wouldn't want that. You need Debo there with a good running back because it kind of interchange. What would be your thoughts? Do they go back out like Rainier says and get Matt Breida to come back? Like, why are they not looking to get Matt Breida back onto this roster? What are they waiting for?
If you're not going to trust Isaac Garindo, let's see Patrick Taylor. And then you got Keyshawn Vaughn on your practice squad. Trust him. If you got all these running backs on your roster, trust somebody. Like Breida, sure, but like you see the pecking order. Like you gotta trust somebody. Why do you have all these guys on your roster or practice squad if you're not gonna give a chance? You add Breida to it. What good's that gonna do? Because you're choosing all these guys over Breida. You got to trust somebody.
Well, Breida's not even there, right? Like Breida's
No,
not
he's
even,
not even on the team.
He's not even on the team. So I thought when they let him go, they had a conversation with him saying that he would be destined to return at some point if he was still available. Like I thought that was like the conversation that was had. I could be wrong though.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. I mean, he fumbled in the preseason, and I thought whenever I saw that, I was like, yeah.
Oh, he was done. He was done. Yeah, Jordan Mason is the only running back, and Christian McCaffrey, the only two running backs that can fumble and can keep their jobs.
Yeah,
because you need them. Because you need them.
Maybe. And two, like those two fumbles by Jordan Mason were huge. We didn't lose one of them, but still, they ruined both those drives. They ruined one of the drives. I think we scored on one of those. But yeah, it's major. That's a new development. Hopefully, get that crap, nip it in the bud, man.
Sonya says Debo was getting stuffed against the Jets, but he wasn't getting stuffed against the Patriots.
No,
he had some explosive. He had two runs. They weren't explosive, but you could tell he fired right out. And I wonder if it was more because he was literally lined up and he had the vision on the toss on the plays to make plays and make the cuts. I feel like the Niners struggle with their cuts. Like even Jordan Mason has cuts he misses, but because he runs
his
so
vision's
fierce,
not Christian McCaffrey. That's this problem. It's vision.
Okay. I'm okay with that though, right? Like he's still
nobody
averaging.
has Christian McCaffrey vision.
That's different. Yeah. That remember the Madden when you had the vision and that junk was like, oh, or like you know what I mean? Christian McCaffrey's is I feel like Jordan Mason is in the middle. He made a really good cut to the outside on that 24, 25-yard explosive run down the left. The left sideline. Yeah, man, that was a really good cut. He hit the hole, got through, said, "Nah, you can't catch me." Good block from the wide receiver. I can't remember who was in on that play off the top of my head, but it's on the explosive plays video on the Patreon. John, offensively, how are we attacking this defense?
You know, they don't blitz a lot. They blitz more than we do. They blitz Washington 9 times, Detroit Lions 14, Rams 13. And their defense is weird. They run a multiple scheme. They'll do 3 safeties and keep all 3 safeties back. Like the Shanahan, Brock Purdy check is, okay, 2 deep safeties. We can go into a run. They do 3 deep safeties consistently. And so are they going to shift up their entire scheme against us like they have in the past with Jonathan Gannon? Perhaps. We'll probably see a lot of 5-1 fronts where you got 5 defensive line there. You could run against this team, though. It doesn't matter. They've got now my favorite matchup this whole game, Kaiser White, who's their linebacker, number 7. He was teammates with Colton McKivitz at West Virginia. He is old school thumper. Like he is a big hit, stop to run guy. He's the worst coverage linebacker in the NFL currently. So Shanahan's going to take advantage of that. But I want to see Jordan Mason against Kaiser White. Just tough on tough, old school. That's going to be fun. But yeah, get some play action involved. Take advantage of some of those things because it's got to be there. And they have the 2 worst defensive ends in all of football. LJ Collier, who the Seahawks spent a first-round pick on, he's the 107th ranked defensive end. Not good. He's lining up against Trent Williams the whole game. Dude's going to get buried consistently. Other side, Bilal Nichols, he's the 96th defensive end. Like, come on, he plays like that 3-4 hybrid defensive end shot. Like, dude, this team just doesn't have the horses to run Jonathan Gannon's defense. They have 19 pressures on the season.
Yeah.
That's the same that Nick Bosa has by himself.
But the whole team. See that right there, and I'm glad you brought that up. That right there, though, is what kind of like tricks me a little bit because now they're playing the 49ers. And so
this is the biggest game they got.
Will they dial up the pressures? Will they, you know what I'm saying? Like, will they try to rattle Brock Purdy with the blitz because they see on film that the blitz, certain types of blitzing, if they have the certain type of blitzing and a certain type of personnel, kind of rattles Brock Purdy a little bit? Like, do you feel like this might be a game where they blitz just a little bit more and live with the results that they get if they don't get home?
I hope so. Brock Purdy's never thrown an interception against the Cardinals. His 2 best games, quarterback percentage-wise or whatever, is against the Cardinals. Remember, he's from Arizona. I know this game is in San Francisco, but, like, This game matters to Brock Purdy, his family. It matters to all the people he grew up with. It matters. And so Brock Purdy has torched the living bejesus out of the Cardinals the last 2 times he's played them. I expect that to continue. They don't have great secondary players outside of Budda Baker. They've got a lot of really young guys that have some talent. Max Melton, who was like, a draft crush of ours. Yeah, he's really, really good. Starling Thomas. Like, they've got guys out there, but this isn't like Christian Gonzalez is on that side of the ball. They don't have a great defensive scheme. Everybody looks at the quarterback when they play. It's the weirdest thing. We called that 70 series whenever I coached. Like 60 series, you're reading the wide receivers. You're looking at the wide receivers going off the route. 70 series, you're reading the quarterback. They read the quarterback the whole time. There are so many wide receivers in space out there because they get lost in this kind of zone drops that they do. Not saying IU's going to have a huge game because I don't know if he's ready for that, but this game would suggest IU time because he's going to get lost in coverage. I'm telling you he is. And Brock Purdy, that is not the way to play Brock. He's kind of the antithesis to the Jonathan Gannon system. I don't know. It's a bad defense, man. This is a bad defense.
Bad defense. Bad, probably scheme on defense.
Yes.
Some players that can stand out. I'm going to mention one. You didn't mention his name. Maybe you did. Zaven Collins, who plays his best games against the 49ers.
He's been good.
Against the 49ers. Mainly against the 49ers. Like, he plays his best football. Now you're talking about a guy who's really familiar with the team that he's about to play against. How do you make sure out on the edge that he's not the disruptor? And you kind of tame them. I know they don't have much else, but they never really had much else. I'm sitting here looking at the rankings of these players. Most of them are ranked at the bottom of the barrel. This guy is ranked 19th.
He's good. Now, he's not a pass rusher. They play him in that TJ Watt role.
Yes.
He's great versus the run. He's actually really good in coverage. He's the 3rd best coverage linebacker out. Like, he's great. Remember, this is a first-round pick. Freak athlete, all that stuff. Pass rush is just not his thing. They're not using him correct.
But he's a disruptor. That's what I'm trying to say.
And so him against Colton McKivitz is going to kind of be the fun matchup because he's best versus the run. Colton McKivitz is best versus the run. Zaven Collins sucks rushing the passer. Well, Colton McKivitz sucks blocking for the passer.
So who wins that battle?
That's going to be key. That's going to be a key part of this game. It really, really is. Yeah. And so, do I think he's going to go out there and get sacks? No, but he might get some tackle for losses. He can cover really, really well. That is Zaven Collins is on my players to watch out for, but I do think that they're using him incorrectly. He's not that dynamic rusher. He's ranked 81st as a pass rusher. Not good. It's not good.
No, it's not his role. Like you said, it's not his role. He does play out there in the edge, more of an outside linebacker. But my thing is, we talk about running the ball.
That's where he's going to show up.
Are we taking away the outside zone?
Dude, run to the left. They don't switch him around a lot. I know. Can call that one, man. Let's just boop, boop. We're going to go the other way.
I don't get it. Jordan Mason's runs are always to the right.
Because their pass rusher that is good is on the other side, Dennis Gardeck. That's their best pass rusher. So, you can tell, okay, Gardeck's on the left side. Let's chip over there. Let's keep our tight end over there. Let's put her back over there. Where's Zaven Collins? We're going one-on-one to that side. You run to Gardeck, you chip or you float your protection
over to Collins' side.
To Gardeck's
side. Yeah. There it is. That's the game plan. So run the ball. Take advantage of them defensively. Run this ball
like crazy this week.
And take advantage of them getting lost in the sauce defensively. Lost in space. I guess that's what you called it. Yeah. Oh. What a game plan. Give John Chapman a round of a mother freaking applause for that, man.
I appreciate the kind words. Thank you for your gestures. I'd like to thank my family and my agent. Couldn't have been here without him. Thanks for supporting me. Sorry.
Jack says I put my money on Colton McKivitz. He had a good game last week.
One of his best games of his career.
Of the life. Yeah.
He's been great in the run game nonstop all year. Obviously, the pass rush is a major issue, and they're still not chipping for him. They did once or twice, but they're still leaving him alone on empty sets against 5-man pressure. And so it just seems like we're not adjusting that. That's just what it's going to be.
John, give me a game day prediction, not a score prediction, but something that you feel is going to happen on this day. You kind of alluded to it earlier, but I'm not sure if we're going to still go that route. Give me a game day prediction.
I have been really high on Sam Ukuwanu, and I'm gonna go. He gets a sack this week. He had 6 snaps 2 weeks ago. He had 19 snaps this week. I want to see him get 25 snaps,
Moving on
1
up.
sack, 1 tackle for loss. I'm the biggest Sam O fan that exists. I love this dude, and I can't wait to see him wreck some more shop.
Yeah, I think he's going to continue to wreck shop as long as he stays healthy. He just continues to get better and better every single
So fun, man.
game. It's like some people just want it and some people just, they just go out there and play, but you could tell he wants it. Like
Every damn play, he matters. If you see
Matters.
91 out there,
Did you
get
see
your
him
damn
against the
popcorn.
run last week?
That's the thing. Like, he's a pass rusher.
Nah,
But
did you see him against the
man.
run, bro? Like, and where have we struggled with edge rushing, setting the edge, like not being able to stop the run, not being able to contain, keep. Like, this guy is in the backfield. He has this move, like it's like a slip slide.
Yeah.
Like, nah, and to where they only put a hand on him, right? And so if you're just gonna, you remember 2-hand touch football?
Yeah.
That's how they play him. They're like, "Psh, you're it. You're out. Nah, son, this ain't touch." You know what I mean? And you can't grab me because that's holding. And next thing you know, he's in the backfield before the running back gets the ball. Hence, fumbles. This is why that dude's going to be a problem. So, John, you're awesome, man. I love my Wednesdays because I get to sit back and, pull out my notebook. Actually, I got my voice recorder on, so I get to take mental notes.
I love it.
And John, you're just like a breath of fresh air. Appreciate you, man. I want you to take us home. Wait, shout out to everybody out there too. I felt like there were some things I didn't really get to. They wanted to know about VZ wanted to know about Pretty Ricky returning soon. John, what is your thoughts on that?
I think we'll find out soon. I think that he gets activated his practice window, but I don't think he'll be playing this week. I think it's going to be practice for a week or two, then move him. Remember, wide receiver room's crowded. You don't have to jump that. You could use some time there.
And then Ronnie says, John and Breezy, any particular position or player you would try to trade before the trade deadline? Trade for before the trade deadline. Okay, I want to make sure I read that
line
right.
would be where it would be at, but man, if this defensive line looks anything like it did last week, then I think you're all right. The depth is good. You got to wait and see, though. So defensive line, whether that's an end or a defensive tackle, we kind of changed things because Sam O was great at defensive end. You moved your tier gross mottos into defensive tackle and pass rush situations. That worked out well. Kevin Givens turns out to be a beast pass rusher. So, like, kind of an addition by subtraction with Hargrave out, to be honest with you. Defensive line stepped up great. Can that continue? If it doesn't, you've got to address that position. Defensive end, defensive tackle would be those positions.
Since the Niners never do anything that makes logical sense, like didn't make sense when they traded for Christian McCaffrey, no one saw that coming. It just didn't make any sense. We had running backs and we traded for him. I'm going to continue to go down that path. I think there's a guy that the Niners could get in here who's a freak, who's a weapon, who's being misutilized, who has the lowest production at his position right now. I think there's a tight end out there that the Niners could go snatch up for dirt
Kyle
cheap.
Pitts?
You know I'm talking about Kyle Pitts, bro.
Oof.
And a lot of people won't like it because they don't feel like they're not getting the production. But when you come to Kyle Shanahan's offense and you get utilized properly, that's a mismatch nightmare. Kyle's all about the nightmares on Elm Street. I think that would be a hell of a piece to put in here who's still on a rookie contract, right? And ain't looking like he's going to get a big contract after that. Can you imagine Kyle Pitts with George Kittle? And now you talked about 13 personnel from their team. We ain't never putting 13 personnel out there, but can you imagine some 13 personnel out there? Like, that would be crazy. 1 receiver, 3 tight ends, a running back. Ugh. With a Kyle Pitts. I know people think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but just let it sink in. Like, we haven't seen really what he can do because he plays for the Falcons. Look, and hear me out. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the Falcons don't even know how to use Bijan Robinson right.
And it doesn't matter who the coach is. They're not using it's not going well.
Thank you, John. Thank you. That's all I was trying to say. Last but not least, I think Mark is talking about how gray my beard is.
I got some grays going on up here too.
Yeah, but yours look cool. See, as long as you don't got it down here, But
I can't even grow facial hair, so we ain't got to worry about that. I got it. Puberty is scheduled to be reached next year, hopefully.
John, take us home, baby.
Dude, I will say this. This has been an absolute blast. Faithful, you are the best. I give this show and everything that Wade does 2 thumbs up and a Z snap. We out of here, baby. Stay strong, Faithful.